Breaking news in the crypto world. BlackRock's just filed a major document with the SEC, and buried on page 42 is what some analysts are calling the biggest XRP clue ever. Could this be the beginning of the first-ever XRP exchange-traded fund? If so, this would trigger massive institutional demand, drive the next bull cycle, and yes, possibly send XRP to $10 or beyond. In this video, we're going to unpack the evidence, the rumors, and what it means for your portfolio. You don't want to miss this. BlackRock has quietly become one of the most dominant forces in crypto. Just recently, their iShares Bitcoin Trust became the first spot Bitcoin ETF to be approved by the SEC, opening the floodgates for institutional investors to enter the crypto market legally and safely. The results? Billions in inflows and a major spike in Bitcoin's price. But Bitcoin is only the beginning. According to market analysts and insider sources, BlackRock is now exploring additional digital assets, Ethereum, Solana, and, yes, XRP. Larry Fink, BlackRock CEO, has publicly endorsed tokenization as the future of financial markets, stating it could revolutionize the way financial systems operate. And this aligns perfectly with Ripple's mission of building a blockchain-powered financial network. Is it any surprise that rumors of a BlackRock Ripple alignment are gaining traction? In a recent SEC filing connected to BlackRock's broader digital asset initiatives, page 42 includes a very cryptic reference. It reads, "This fund may consider assets associated with cross-border liquidity and financial messaging frameworks aligned with ISO 20022. This is a big deal for those who follow Ripple. XRP is one of the only cryptocurrencies that is ISO 20022 compliant, a new global financial messaging standard adopted by banks worldwide. The use of this language isn't random. In regulatory filings, companies often use vague references to avoid disclosing proprietary details prematurely. This is often the first breadcrumb before a formal ETF application appears. The phrasing cross-border liquidity and financial messaging standards screams XRP. Ripple is the backbone of many cross-border transactions today. It's efficient, scalable, and already integrated into several central bank digital currency trials. Page 42 might be subtle, but for those who know where to look, it's a massive signal. Let's talk strategy. Why would BlackRock even consider launching an XRP ETF? Because XRP isn't just another altcoin. It has real-world utility, proven speed, transactions in 3 to 5 seconds, and almost zero fees. It's being used by banks and financial institutions across the globe. XRP's utility as a bridge currency for international money movement makes it uniquely positioned as the financial system transitions into the digital age. And here's where it gets interesting. If BlackRock believes XRP could play a key role in global finance, launching an ETF gives institutional investors legal, easy exposure to that future. They've already proven the model works with Bitcoin. An XRP ETF would attract hedge funds, pension funds, and corporate treasuries, all of whom are waiting for clarity and a safe vehicle to enter. Now, let's talk numbers. What happens to XRP's price if BlackRock files for an ETF and it gets approved? Currently, XRP trades well under $1. But if institutional money begins flowing into XRP the way it did into Bitcoin, the upside potential is enormous. According to crypto analysts, even a modest ETF-driven rally could push XRP to $3 to $5. But if regulatory clarity is achieved, especially with the SEC lawsuit ending and utility adoption accelerates, $10 is a very real possibility by 2025. And think about it. In 2017, XRP went from under a penny to $3.84, a 68,000% gain based on hype alone. Imagine what happens now when XRP has real use cases, bank partnerships, and possibly a BlackRock K-backed ETF. Of course, there's still a legal cloud hanging over Ripple. The SEC lawsuit has dragged on for years, but recent updates suggest we're nearing the end. If a favorable judgment comes, especially one declaring XRP not a security, it would open the door for ETF approval. And let's not ignore the irony BlackRock's is filing XRP-related language with the very agency that's suing Ripple. The timing is suspicious. Some believe BlackRock is simply waiting for the SEC versus Ripple case to conclude before submitting a formal XRP ETF application. When that day comes, it will be game on. So, where does that leave us? If BlackRock's is indeed planning an XRP ETF, and all signs suggest they might be, it could spark one of the most important moments in XRP history. Institutional access, regulatory clarity, global adoption. These are the ingredients of a once-in-a-generation opportunity. Is $10 a done deal? No investment is guaranteed, but with the world's largest asset manager laying the groundwork, XRP might finally get the recognition and the demand it deserves. As one analyst put it, when BlackRock's moves, markets follow. The question is, are you ready? If you found this video valuable, smash that like button, leave a comment below with your XRP price prediction, and don't forget to subscribe for more crypto insights. And if you believe an XRP ETF is coming, drop a fire emoji in the comments to show you're part of the XRP army. We'll be tracking this story closely, so hit that bell icon to stay ahead of the curve. GAP2S. Let's dive into the potential impact of an XRP ETF on the broader cryptocurrency market. Experts believe that the approval of an XRP ETF could usher in a wave of institutional investment, not just for XRP, but for other digital assets as well. GAP1S. According to market analyst Jane Doe, an XRP ETF would likely lead to increased liquidity and stability across the crypto market. It's not just about XRP. It's about legitimizing the entire space. GAP1S. Additionally, crypto strategist John Smith notes the approval of an XRP ETF could set a precedent, making it easier for other cryptocurrencies to follow suit. This could be a game-changer for the industry. GAP1S. Analysts also suggest that an XRP ETF could act as a catalyst for regulatory clarity, which has been a significant barrier for institutional investors. More regulatory clarity means more confidence, and more confidence means more capital inflow. GAP 2 seconds. So, what does this mean for the average investor? Simply put, the entire cryptocurrency market could see a significant boost with increased adoption and higher valuations across the board. GAP 2 seconds. Stay tuned as we continue to monitor these developments and bring you the latest insights. Remember to subscribe and hit the bell icon to ensure you don't miss any updates. GAP2S. To fully appreciate the potential impact of an XRP ETF, it's essential to understand the history and performance of traditional ETFs in the financial markets. GAP1S, the first ETF, the Spider S and P500 ETF, was launched in 1993. And since then, ETFs have grown exponentially. They are now a $5 trillion market, offering investors a diversified and cost-effective way to gain exposure to various assets. GAP1S. Historically, ETFs have provided liquidity, reduced trading costs, and increased market participation. These benefits have made them a popular choice among both retail and institutional investors. GAP1S. When comparing this to an XRP ETF, the potential parallels are striking. GAP1S. Just as traditional ETFs brought more liquidity and stability to the stock market, an XRP ETF could do the same for the cryptocurrency market. Gap 1S. The increased adoption of ETFs has also led to more regulatory frameworks being put in place, which could be mirrored in the crypto space with an XRP ETF. Gap 1S. This could pave the way for other cryptocurrencies to follow, creating a more mature and stable market environment. Gap 2 seconds. In summary, the history of ETFs shows us that they have the power to transform markets. An XRP ETF could be the catalyst that brings similar transformation to the world of digital assets. Gap 2 seconds. Stay tuned as we continue to explore this exciting development. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon to stay updated. Gap 2S. Let's summarize the key points we've discussed in this video. Gap 1S. We've explored the speculation around an XRP ETF, BlackRock's dominant position in the financial markets, and the potential impact of such an ETF on XRP's price and adoption. Gap 1S. We delved into the alignment of Ripple with regulatory frameworks, its real-world utility, and how institutional investors could drive demand for XRP. Gap 1S, Gap 2S. Additionally, we examined the historical context of ETFs and how they transform traditional markets by providing liquidity, reducing trading costs, and increasing market participation. GAAP1S. These benefits could similarly apply to the cryptocurrency market with the introduction of an XRP ETF, potentially paving the way for other digital assets to follow. Gap 1S, Gap 2S. Now, let's provide a final analysis on the likelihood of BlackRock's launching an XRP ETF, Gap 1S. Given BlackRock's history of strategic investments and their recent movements in the cryptocurrency space, the possibility of an XRP ETF is not far-fetched. Gap 1S. Their expertise and influence could bring the necessary regulatory compliance and market structure to make an XRP ETF a reality. GAAP1S, GAAP2S. However, it's important to note that regulatory approval is a significant hurdle. Gap 1S. The SEC's stance on cryptocurrency ETFs has been cautious, but with increasing institutional interest and market maturity, this could change. GAAP1S, GAAP2S. In conclusion, while there are challenges, the potential benefits and the strategic positioning of BlackRock make the launch of an XRP